Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Prison Emails, Part 2, and we're going to jump right into it. As always, all credit for these emails goes to Into the Weeds podcast and 1980 Millennial Commentates, as they're the ones reading over these on live stream. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to give you the recap, the highlights, and the things that I found to be most important, and then we're also going to listen to some of the emails. Now, one of the things that I thought was quite interesting that they brought up was that majority of the people who write Gypsy are older. So they're grandparents, they're sick, they're veterans, and that she typically replies to the males. Gypsy also often talks about being unsure about her relationship with Ryan, saying things like that she's just not attracted to him. There's also an email where she mentions Nicholas Godejohn writing to her a 7-page email that she responds to. In October of 2022, she sent out a mass email where she was contemplating getting an annulment with Ryan, and she was upset because someone that she had sent this email to posted it online. It also appears that Gypsy's family made a lot of decisions without her consent in terms of media interviews, in that they were really interested in the money. There's also an email that discusses a trust fund for Gypsy that had $30,000 in it at the time of the email, and that was supposed to have around $50,000 by the time of her release. That was to be used for her therapy, education, and support needs. Now, we also learn in the second set of emails that Ken struggles with substance use disorder and had an addiction himself, because Gypsy and her father Rod were talking about this in emails. Gypsy also wanted Ken to move to Missouri to be closer to her. However, he was in school, but we're not really sure what Ken was in school for. And while there are a few emails from Ken to Gypsy, it seems that he mainly replied to her on the phone. You're also going to hear in one of these emails someone writing to Gypsy talking about how they have watched The Act, and Gypsy tells them that majority of what is in the act is true, which is contrary to what she has said before, claiming that things in the act aren't true. She specifically talked about the sex scene with Nicholas from the act, but it was interesting because when she talks about it, she refers to it as consensual sex and not rape, which we know she has gone back and forth with saying that it was consensual or non-consensual. In the interrogation, she said that he raped her. In the trial, he didn't. In her book, he did, and then in these emails, he didn't. So, contrary to what Gypsy has said about things in the act not being factual, it seems that her real issue with the act was the fact that she didn't make any money from it. Now, there's also an email that talks about Fiance and how she sold her life rights to Fiance for her story. And then we also have a few emails from Rod, one specifically where he's giving an update about his infidelity and the cookie lady. Now, we're probably going to start with the emails from Ken to Gypsy, and we're also going to hear some about Gypsy and Ryan's marriage. So I wanted to go over Gypsy's relationship timeline. So in 2017, Ken initially wrote to Gypsy after seeing Mommy Dead and Dearest. In 2018, Ken proposes, and in 2019, they split up but then eventually get back together. In 2020, Ryan emails Gypsy, and by 2022, Gypsy and Ryan are married. So in regards to the emails with Ken, we learn that Ken has an addiction to powdery substances, and that Rod talks about this with Gypsy. Gypsy also wants Ken to move to Missouri to be closer to her. Ken is in school, but we're not sure what for. At the time of their relationship, Ken was bartending, and Gypsy often got jealous of Ken's interactions with women because Ken would tell her about them. Gypsy also calls Ken a, quote, Hooters hooker, and we know that Gypsy and Ken have gone to Hooters together because there have been pictures that have been posted on social media. So I just thought that was interesting. Ken typically responds to Gypsy's emails with calls, and there was also mention of robe calls that Ken and Gypsy would have together. Not exactly sure the context to those, but they are mentioned at one point during the emails.
2 emails from Ken to Gypsy, and this is 2018. Hey, lover, I missed you as soon as we hung up last night. You know all the right things to say to make me crave you constantly. It's my day off tomorrow and I don't know what I'm doing. I promise no poker, lol. I'll probably get those pictures I owe you and mail them mail them out. I'm sorry it's taken so long. I should also start packing for this move into downtown. God, I can't wait to get the hell out of Normandy Park and back into Seattle. I forgot to mention on the phone today I got your card and it seriously uplifted me more so than I can explain a letter. I mean, really, do you know what you do to me? I freaking love you. I can't get enough time with you, so I hope you call me again tonight, even if it's just for 2 minutes, so I can say I love you. And then the next day, sends an email. He says, "You're just the best. You know that? It's 2 a.m. and I'm lying here in bed with no distractions, thinking of nothing except you. I truly can't even believe how happy I am to have you, and I never thought I'd say that to anyone. But you've become a part of me that I'll never lose. I know I've said this before, but honestly, I can't think back to a single person I've had nearly a 3.5 hour conversation with. Not only that, but immediately after hanging up, I just want you back. I want that voice. I want that laugh. I want your roommate stopping by and saying how awesome you are. I just want more Gypsy. You're never enough. Thank you for making the best part of my day, no matter what I'm doing. You're the one who brings the excitement into my life, even 1.8 thousand miles away for now. I catch myself smiling at anything that reminds me of you, your blanket, your picture, an envelope you sent, a card, or looking into our box and seeing the scrapbook. Let's get through another week of this thing together. You jump, I jump, remember? Much love, always. K. P.S. I hope our visit goes well. Oh, and remind me the song I couldn't remember when trying to search it after we hung up, only because I'm too focused. I send in really, really sappy emails in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They talked a lot about their robe nights, which, like
Mhm.
Amber said, if we ever got the transcripts of those phone calls, we would not read the robe nights.
Mhm.
I know none of the three of us would read the robe nights. We would not feel comfortable doing that.
No.
But yeah, in 2018, it was really sappy. Then by 2019, when he would occasionally send her an email, it got kind of short. And at one point, she was like, "Why are you even talking like that? I don't know who you are."
Yeah, and she, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Ken was actually supposed to move to Liberty, Missouri.
Yeah, she was pushing him to move to Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And he was resisting it, and she was telling him how awesome Missouri is. Just try out, explore Kansas City and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about loving the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they talk about it quite a bit about him moving to Liberty, finding an apartment, finding a school, because I guess Ken was in school. There's quite a bit of talk about Ken and classes and things like that. So I don't know what he actually took classes for, but
I'm going to read this real quick. So this is 112, 2019. My love, as I write this, I'm in bed looking out the window at the 10 plus inches of snow falling from the winter storm, blank, and I have only one thing on my mind, you. After you told me why you got in your head and turned into a gremlin, I can't even be mad at you because it's why you got that way and not how you were acting, but the why that makes me sweet on you. I'm like, oh, he got territorial. He loves me. Smiley face. I love you. XOXOXOXO. Honey, I need you to remember that I will never keep a score of the wrongs. We both do and say things that we didn't completely think before it was said or done, but most likely it was purely because we love each other too much and our moods can be affected at a moment's notice in a positive or negative way. And you and I are so much alike. I get protective and possessive of you as well. Remember when you told me you met Kylie Jenner? I was about to fuck up a Kardashian for real. LOL. I totally believed you. There has been times I turned into Mrs. Gremlin.
Oh my God.
In seriousness, I'm so into you and wrapped up in my feelings for you that no one, male or female, reference to my misunderstanding, LOL, is even a blip on my radar, as I am in love with only one person because this one person I have spent hours that could total up to months talking to, visits that I have such fond memories of, kisses that were so pleasurable they made me moan, such powerful emotions that overwhelm me with happiness just having you in my life, and the soul-crushing sadness when we feel hurt. The hopes and dreams we share, and the way you can read my mind is all signs that we were so perfectly matched. I wouldn't give that up for anything. And with that being said, I will give you a Bible verse that I truly believe in, and this comes from a life recovery Bible. So for both of us, it has more meaning. You and I are both at one time or another have been addicts trying to numb our pain, and our pain and love can often be the cause and the cure. And here's the Bible verse. Oh, yeah. Okay. We may have given up on love. Perhaps we waited for love only to be disappointed. Maybe our loved ones hurt us so badly that we need to numb ourselves from the pain. In the past, our addiction helped us to numb.
Addiction.
I'm sorry, our addiction. No, it says addition.
Yeah, but she meant addiction.
Oh, addiction, my bad. Helped us to keep us numb. But now we are recovered and we must deal with the trials and joys of love with a sober mind and heart. 1 Corinthians 13. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not want what belongs to others. It does not brag. It is not proud. It is not rude. It does not look out for its own interests. It does not become easily angry. It does not keep track of the wrongs of others. Love is not happy with evil, but is full of joy when truth is spoken. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. And it never gives up. The three most important things to have is faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of all of them is love. The reason I give this to you is because I want you to remember that through the past when we have been wronged by the exes.
8/29/2019. Okay, this is Rod to Gypsy, August 2019. That's great news about your test and classes. I'm glad you have set your goal. You can do it. Make it a priority. Study hard for a few months, then pass it, and then you can have time to do other stuff. When I took all my captain's tests, that's all I had time for. Study, study, study every free minute. It was a rough 4 to 6 months, but after it's done, you never have to test again. That's the best advice I can give for now. The addiction relapse is a big, huge red flag, baby. Sorry. I'm advising you to accept that you cannot change an addict's desires. Someone in their mid-20s going on binge coke highs surely carries baggage at this point. It makes your relationship extremely tough to grow properly. You made a good call to step back a bit for now. He has a lot of maturing to do in my view. I hope he can. He's a nice guy, but making a terrible decision by using drugs. I'm sorry to hear that, boo. All you can do is talk to him and tell him he needs to be strong, stay strong. Nobody will ever carry his weight. He and only him can choose the right road when the devil start to tempt him. Mom said y'all did more interviews. I thought we were done. LOL. That's cool. I know why you did it. Anyway, still in the boat. Get off mid-October. Same whole crap here. Water, sky, more water. I love you.
Yeah, that was the most blatant, actually talking about the powder. There are other ones talking about opioid problems as well. So
yeah, so Gypsy being all judgmental, putting out the sweat towel post on Ryan. She's not with someone who didn't also have a similar problem that they had to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say this. There's rumors from the prisoners that she didn't exactly stop everything that she said she was stopping. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is from 6/7/2019 and it's outbound from Gypsy. Babe, I want you to know that I love you with all my heart. I'm sorry it's been a rough work week. I know that it's all for a bigger goal. I miss you, but I can't help feeling like I have been annoying you lately with how much I call you. Maybe it's the fact that I do call you when you're working, and maybe that's annoying. So if so, I apologize, and I will stop calling you every morning and night. If you need space, let me know. Today you did put me in a mood because I clearly told you I had a vivid nightmare that you were cheating on me with another girl in here, who happens to be a real girl in here, and I was still feeling weird about it. Like I hadn't shook off the dream yet. Then you proceeded to tell me about some chick, granted she was old, but still some chick hitting on you like I don't want to hear about it. I know you get chicks throwing themselves at you, but I don't need to be reminded. It's not funny, so please stop. And today was just bad timing with a bunch of A's in all caps. You were a sand kicker today because I felt you all but said, fuck your feelings and your bad dream. Let me tell you how many chicks want to fuck me. Sometimes you say things that it surprises me that you don't catch things that stir me up. I think you do completely overlook some things and think it doesn't bother me. Just tell me about that shit. Save it for your dude buddies who are probably 35 and single, living the bang 'em and leave 'em life. Not your incarcerated fiance who has not a clue what you do when I'm not on the phone with you. I get that you surround yourself with besides blank are other bartenders who are in point in case
Single.
Sorry, okay. Single for the reason of the sexual attention that comes with being in that line of work, as you admit yourself that you have to flirt in order to get high tips. So in a sense, you asked for it to happen. Ever since you told me that I'm not like you're innocent. Oh, okay. Ever since you told me that, I'm like, you're not innocent. So don't act surprised like it happened out of the blue. What I do appreciate is that you don't act on the opportunity, but ask yourself, ask yourself this. If the roles are reversed and I brag to you, Valley Girl talk, like, OMG, OMG, this old guy came into my work and was like, hot damn girl, you fine. If I was younger, I'd hit that. See my point? It's like the same if you was locked up and I was working at Hooters. In parentheses, I would never degrade myself enough to work there. But say, for example, if I did, I would have to wear short shorts with a tight crop top, showing off my tits, flipping my hair, and giving guys winks while bending over the table as I stare down my shirt. I'm sure it would make loads of money and have dudes hit on me all day, but I wouldn't give them what they wanted. Then told you about all the guys who want to take me home when you call me, just needing a moment to be reminded how much I love you. But instead, I make you feel insecure and jealous because you're in prison and you can't so much as even kiss me for a long time. But some random ass has the privilege to see down my shirt and offers to take me to Pound Town. So I hope my little examples put things into perspective for you. I can't control that you're a Hooters hooker, but I will ask to be left in ignorance as it is bliss. Anyway, I sound like I'm bitching, but I'm not bitching. I'm just being 100% real with you and telling you what's on my mind. I'm not mad, by the way. I just don't want to be omitting how I really feel. I'm probably overblowing it and could have gotten my point across without the examples, but it's 2 a.m. and I didn't get to stay on the phone or say this on the phone tonight, nor did I get my kisses. I love you. You're a wonderful partner. I do just get possessed of you. Remember that my halo is held up by horns. Miss you. Love your little gremlin.
So now let's talk about the tattoo guy. The tattoo guy wrote to Gypsy starting in December of 2021, and Gypsy would express to him that she was torn between staying with Ryan or being a hoe. Now, the tattoo guy has a record himself, and Gypsy tells him about her sex life and says that she's kinda a virgin because her sex with Nick wasn't good. This guy, interestingly, is into BDSM and also gives Gypsy advice on her parole hearing. This is the person who tells Gypsy that he saw the act, and he basically wanted to talk to her to get the truth. And this is where we learn where Gypsy tells him that the act is true.
Next message, but again, I think it's a little out of order. It says, thanks for the recipe. Yeah, I know what it feels like to be in love. Makes you wonder if you'll ever have it again once you've lost it. Now I'm kind of at a place in my life that I'm 30 years old. I want a family, and I'm torn between getting out and having that with blank because he would, I think that's Ryan, with Ryan, because he would in fact make a wonderful father and husband. And then I'm torn because I haven't dated around there, and I haven't been a hoe. Hell, I'm still kind of a virgin, in parentheses, long story. Or really, it's not that long of one, but super short version. She says, no one has beat that shit up, if you know what I mean. LOL. My ex helped commit my crime, but didn't know what the hell he was doing. And my one experience is just sad. That was probably TMI, but it's real. Gypsy. Well, as for the guy who helped you commit the crime, after reading a little bit more about the story, I kind of already figured he didn't know his way around a vagina. No offense, but definitely not the brightest bulb in the bunch, or you probably wouldn't be where you are right now. I know he said that you told him to do whatever he did, but at the end of the day, only you know the truth. And honestly, the truth doesn't scare me because it's something you have to live with for the rest of your life, not me. I wanted to ask you about a few parts of your story in person someday if you ever give me the chance, as it's kind of informal to ask over JPay. Plus, I'd like to see your facial expressions. One thing I can tell you, though, is that yes, you definitely should explore your options. It's definitely possible to go on many dates without being a hoe. I've been on quite a few where I ended up not sleeping with a woman, just not talking to her anymore, because there was no attraction on my end, sometimes physically, but most of the time mentally. I do honestly think you're drop dead gorgeous. And if you ever did give me the chance, not to be a perv or horn dog, but I'd definitely give you an experience to remember. I'm into BDSM. One of my favorite toys is a Hitachi wand. If you don't know what one is, you can ask the other women about it. I can tell you that there is nothing like being forced to orgasm over and over again. I'll leave that topic alone for now, though. But just know, when you get out, you're free to come see me. I'll gladly arrange for a way for you to come to Pennsylvania, and you can get away from all the insanity there. No one will know you or anything about you here, and you can have a clean slate. Plus, I know many places where you can get a job immediately paying 20 plus an hour. You have my phone number. Just call and say the word. I'll figure it out. It's not hard. As for your upcoming parole board hearing, I highly suggest that you show some emotion during the hearing. They want to see that you've had plenty of time to think about what occurred, regardless if you feel guilty or not. They want you to see you own it and feel remorseful. Remember, they do have your freedom in your hands, so keep that in mind. I hope they let you out as soon as possible. I don't wish jail or prison on my worst enemy. That shit is the worst. I hope to hear from you. Please let me know what happens at the hearing. I'll be looking forward to your response. I'm heading to bed now. The work is in the AM. Wishing you the best over here. Good night and sweet dreams. Beautiful. Outbound about a year later on 9/14/2022. Hey there, tattoo guy. It's great to hear from you. I wondered why you could not send any emails anymore, but it's not the first time someone fell off from writing me, so I just accepted it. Yes, I got married in July. Let me explain further. I married my best friend, Ryan. He is 36, lives about 3 hours away from my dad and stepmother, Christy, in Louisiana. Ryan is a big guy, in parentheses, not muscle. I hate that.
That's awful.
But he has a big heart, and that is why I married him, because he is someone who makes me laugh, and I can see him being a wonderful family man. But he has insecurities, and that is causing problems in our new marriage. We always had these issues, but I thought that they would get better once we got married, and they haven't. So today was the first day I contemplated getting an annulment. I vented to a gal pal of mine, and she gave me advice to try and help fix his behavior before resulting in the annulment. Before resulting to the end-all be-all option. I love him, but I can't live with the constant insecurities that he has about our marriage. I am happy most of the time, but other times, God, I wish I was single again. Only time will tell if this marriage will work or not. He is a really good, sweet guy, though. He is one of the good ones. I just wish he had more confidence and could grow in trust. Anyway, enough about me. As for your past relationships, I feel like people put up with a lot because of attractiveness. My brother, for example, is with a beautiful woman, but she is batshit controlling.
Oh, no.
My advice to you is to first be drawn in by personality and kindness, and then look at the physical. And I promise it will tell you all you need to know. I'm sorry you haven't had a good, sweet girl. Most of us kind of girls aren't posted up in strip clubs, though. Hint, hint, just saying. I want to send you a recent pic of me. What's your address again? I'll write more tomorrow. Have a good night. And I'm so happy you found me again, Gypsy Rose.
December 1st, 2021. Damn it, my thumb hit delete button on your email really before I got to read it all. Now I can't get it back. That just irritated me. Well, I got to read some of what it says. Blank dumped me 2 years ago, Ken, I believe. I'm currently with my male best friend, Ryan, I believe that says. Although he is amazing to me, there is a lack of physical attraction. I am with him because he is perfect for me emotionally, but I am just not really physically attracted to him. I feel terrible for feeling this way. Last night, I even told him sometimes I wish I was single so I could meet new people. It hurt him and sparked a fight. I just don't know what to do anymore. I love him, but the question is, am I in love with him? And I just don't feel like I am sometimes. When I was with blank, Ken, I believe, I love that man to the end of the earth and then some. It's not the same feeling I have with Ryan. It's a soft comfort love, like we've been married for 10 years feeling. Like if I had to choose sex or cuddle with him, I'd pick cuddle.
So this is Outbound. This is, August 20th, 2020. And I can't really tell who this is to. I think it's another kind of random person that isn't like super well known in the community or anything. I wanted to add to my last message that I understand if you're not able to explain everything to me in detail. However, I am grateful for this. In the last year, ever since the show aired, I've had thousands of new supporters sign my petition for early release, as well as contact me personally, all with 100% positive feedback. I still believe that more awareness needs to be shared about Munchausen by proxy. I thought that maybe you might be curious to know how I am, besides all the rest I shared with you earlier, and share who is Gypsy Blanchard today. The Gypsy Blanchard everyone knows from the ACT is almost a distant memory. I no longer have a squeaky voice. Yes, it is still feminine, but it is no longer childlike. I've been taking general education classes and have passed every subject except math. I have successfully completed 7+ institutional classes and teach one myself. A class called ICVC is devoted to teaching other inmates how to take accountability for their crimes and aid them in ways to give back to the community. I share my story as a cautionary tale. I own my part and don't sugarcoat or make excuses for what I've done, but I also know my actions were set in motion before I was ever born with my mother's choices. My father and stepmother are very close in my life. My father still feels guilt to this day, but the past is not the majority of what we talk about. He and I have become close enough for me to share the deep stuff, and though he is a man of few words, he gives the advice I need to hear. My stepmother is a spearhead for my support team. She may have been a little more outspoken in interviews than I'd like, but her heart has always been focused on seeing me free as soon as possible. I've learned in the last 5 years I am much stronger than I ever thought possible, and these days I have no problem speaking up for myself and doing what I feel is best for myself. As for Nick, he did reach out to me when he finally arrived in prison. He wrote me a 7-page letter that contained nothing but more of the abnormal talk with a biblical twist. He asked me to get back together with him, and he told me that he knew about my then fiance and was offended and believed that I was committing adultery because to him, he and I were married, and went on to make a point to give me a month to choose between him and my then relationship. As you can imagine, it was not even a thought in my mind to rekindle things with Nick. I knew the day would come that he would contact me in some way, most likely a letter. I pondered on if I should or shouldn't write back. I sought the advice of friends and family, and we all agreed that I needed closure. I wrote him one and only one letter in response. I explained everything that happened in the 4 years since our arrest and was honest with him and apologized for being responsible for his involvement and wished things hadn't turned out this way. However, I am not the same Gypsy anymore. I can't erase the damage, nor can I ignore the fact that we are toxic together. Besides, I was happy with my new relationship. August 19th, 2020. Hi, Gypsy. I'm blank and I'm from the UK. I live in a place called Gosport, which is near Portsmouth, England. I saw your documentary here and became so drawn to your story, and I'm literally just watching the ACT, which I had sent to me on DVD. It's shocking what you had to deal with, and my heart feels for you. You have grown up into a beautiful princess like you always wanted to be, and you have so much support for you. It's awesome, but I'm sure that you know this already. I can understand your mindset about the whys and wheres and the what ifs, etc. And I truly wish that you didn't have to serve time in prison you've been in prison pretty much your whole life. And I hope that one day you gain your freedom soon. I myself have had cancer twice and I know about sickness very well. I am now 50 years old with 4 teenage boys of whom I am very proud of. They lost their mom to a heart attack last year, and it's been and will be a continuing battle with their grief. Before this tragedy happened, I was a model for catalogs, but now I'm a full-time dad. It's the hardest job ever, I can tell you. Even though I'm 50, I don't look my age, which is a blessing, LOL. I don't know if you'll receive this email or reply to it, but I hope that you can see it works. And who knows, we can become friends. Okay, keep strong, Gypsy, as you have a lot of support for you. Outbound, this is from Gypsy. Thank you. My uncle's wife died just like yours. She was in the kitchen and sat down and it happened. It's very sad. The scenes in the act are true. Even that movie theater scene. Yeah, I know, not so classy having sex in a bathroom stall. Let's just say I've improved on my level of class, LOL. I can't imagine having to be a single parent to 5 children, but I'm sure you're doing just fine. And I'm sure when you're healed from your loss, the right woman will come into your life. You are much too handsome, and then it cuts off. So somewhere, I feel like I saw that he had sent her a picture. But like I said, these are so out of order. It's hard to make sense of it, but maybe someone in a couple weeks can make a little more sense of it. But what was really important there to me, and I think to Millennial, and probably to you as well, and everybody else in chat, is that earlier, she said that she's still kind of a virgin. And then here, when she's having a conversation with someone where it seemed like they're kind of having a heart-to-heart, and unless there's a missing message, which there probably is, I didn't see anything sexually charged other than him just calling her beautiful and stuff like that. But she just goes out of her way to say, yeah, I know it's not so classy having sex in a bathroom stall, but I've improved on my level of class. She went out of her way to say that that was true. Not that she was R-worded in the stall, not that they tried to do it in the stall, but that they had sex in the stall, and she said it like it's a funny story. I don't know who this is from exactly, but this is what it says. Hi, Gypsy. I'm happy to let you know that the trust fund has been set up. It's called the Gypsy Rose Trust, established August 25th, 2020. And there's an associated account set up at Chase Bank. There's $30,000 in the account now. I need to wait until next year, also for tax reasons, to put in more. At the time you're released, there should be a total of $50,000 in it. I think this is actually from Stanfield. It seems like I can't attach a document or file in the JPay system, but the relevant highlights my lawyer sent are pretty simple. Oh, maybe it's not. Anyway, you are the designated beneficiary of the trust, and I am the trustee. That just means that I'm responsible for distributing the funds from a trust to you. So when you're about to be released, let me know, and I will get the funds for you for therapy, education, and support needs. The language in the trust says it's intended to help pay for Gypsy Rose Blanchard's therapy, health, education, support, and maintenance. The gift trust is an irrevocable trust. Irrevocable trust, and as such cannot be revoked or modified in any manner after it is signed. So fortunately, that was pretty simple to set up, and it'll be there for you when you get out. I hope that you're safe and doing all right. All my best, blank. Outbound, October 7th, 2022. Hello, friends, in parentheses, mass email. So thank you to all who gave me great advice this weekend. I really appreciate it. I know that I'm new into the role of wife, and sometimes I do get overwhelmed by things for multiple reasons. The reason why I was pondering getting my marriage annulled is because Ryan and I had an argument like all couples do. And during this argument, he had a trauma trigger for me that reminded me of living with my mother, and I overreacted to it and sent emails to multiple friends within my inner circle contact list on Securus, informing them my thoughts of an annulment. By 3 p.m. this afternoon, I was surprised by a visitor that I wasn't expecting. It was my husband in blank. I had been set up with him for a week straight, and I had been upset with him for a week straight. And at the moment that I walked into the room, I saw him looking more handsome than I think I've ever seen before, and I couldn't stay mad at him any longer. We talked and communicated our issues and both agreed to not throw around the word divorce so easily. We have our own unique trauma triggers, and it's about learning how to adapt and communicate through them. So at the end result, we will continue to work on ourselves and our marriage. But that is not why I'm emailing this. As I was getting through the search process after the visit, one of the guards asked if it was true. I asked what she meant. She to which mentioned seeing a post online that I was contemplating an annulment. In addition, she said my email was posted where I'm talking about it. So one of my friends within my inner circle is posting my business. And anyone who knows me well enough knows that I take my private life serious, and only certain few in confidence receive that email. I will ask whoever posted it, please come forward as I send each person whom I sent that first email to come clean to me and explain their reasons for doing this. My marriage is off limits to post, tweet, TikTok, smack chat is what it says, and every other form of idle gossip. I know and understand that social media is tempting to share your opinions, but unless I ask you to share something, keep my name and my husband's name off social media. Because ever though, I think she means even though, I do not have internet access, someone somewhere will tell me about it, and I will be disappointed if it came from someone close to me. Thank you, Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
We have more emails between Gypsy and her father, Rod, and remember we learned from the first set of emails that Rod was a serial cheater and had absolutely no problem talking with Gypsy about this. And although Gypsy wanted to take a step back from media interviews, Rod agreed to send pictures and videos to a Japan producer for $10,000. We're also going to hear an email about how when Ken and Gypsy got engaged, Rod complained about coming to their wedding because it was his only time off for duck hunting. So it seems that Rod is completely fine taking money for projects and interviews, but couldn't be bothered to come visit his daughter in prison when he thought she was going to get married. Now, Gypsy often asks Rod in these emails who is parenting who, which I thought was quite interesting.
This is 2021. Okay, this is inbound to Gypsy from Rod. Hey, boo, I just want to say hi. Not much to say, but I miss you and was glad to talk to you the other day. I'm still in quarantine, and guess who sent me a text? I guess I'm just irresistible. Yep, the cookie lady. I know, roll your eyes at your bad dad. She's well, and her bakery is doing really good business, and she's continuing on with her divorce and still single. Other than that, no drama. All is well. I hope you're warm and y'all get the vaccine quickly so you can get back to normal. Love you, Dad. And outbound from Gypsy. Oh boy, you knew my eyes would roll. Don't get caught up this time. You know what happened last time. Blank, do we really still call her the cookie lady? I mean, I don't know any other blank. Messaged you. Real talk, I only recently stopped communication with blank. Blank and I have been romantically involved for over a year, and there is times blank has emailed me. I think that's Ken. I would call him, but at some point I stopped and I looked at what I really want in a partner, and I realized blank was no longer that. It made it a lot easier to accept what will never be and what is right in front of me that I take for granted by choosing to still conversate with Ken. I know what it's like to love more than one person. Granted, I don't know how you still feel for blank. All I know is I think I am more like you than I realized when it comes to matters of the heart. We want our cake and to eat it too. I still miss blank, but the more time goes on in the relationship with blank, I realize that we have more of a real strong foundation, and he has the maturity and respect to handle what it means to be with me. And so, long story short, you might think the grass is greener over there, but is it? Either way, I'm still glad she's doing okay. Keep your heart and wee in check, Dad. Who is parenting who? Love you, hugs.
She said that to Rod a couple of times. Who's parenting who?
On 8/13/2020, outbound from Gypsy, she says, in 2017 through 2019, my father, Rod Blanchard, and my stepmother, Christy Blanchard, unfortunately fell prey to a con artist by the name of Francesca Maselli, who claimed to be in the industry. My father agreed to a bogus contract with this woman. She made claims to be writing a TV drama similar to The Act, and this would have the involvement of my family and myself. Despite her claims, I knew she was a fraud when she started creating her production team that consisted of random people she met online and on social media case discussion groups, people with absolutely no experience or credible sources to be signing onto any of my entertainment projects. Francesca Maselli has spoken as a family source in multiple platforms such as In Touch Magazine, People Magazine, and E! News. More than that, too. I never had any say or any control on what she said or did. She was only ever a fraud who was creating damage for me, both personally and publicly. My family and I have since cut all ties with Fiance, and she has slandered us on social media for it. In 2019, my engagement to my then fiance Ken was announced, not by our choosing. It was not meant to be made public. It was Francesca who announced the news without my or Ken's permission. The public's interest in my life at the height of the hype from the act, mixed with this woman exploiting me at every turn, caused problems for my relationship with Ken, who was just a normal 27-year-old guy working as a bartender in downtown Seattle. Due to the pressure of fame and everyone having an opinion about a relationship, in October, he ended our 2-year-long relationship and our engagement with it. The breakup and pressure of the fame left me going through a mental breakdown. I lost myself and felt more alone than ever. Thankfully, now that the hype has died down and I'm just living my life outside of the public eye, I am much happier and more stable. I am currently single and 3.5 years away from release, eligible for parole, and I'm going to be home to my father and stepmother where I will live until I can get a place of my own. I have needs that my father cannot afford. I will need cosmetic dental work and will need therapy when I'm home. These are things that do concern me while I'm still in prison. So it is wonderful what you are trying to do for me. Any thoughts, ladies?
I agree, Bobby. I wish no one would have given her attention either, but it's the way it is. So we are exposing her.
Yeah. Yeah. I do feel kind of bad for Gypsy in this regard of, if I'm sorry, Christy, if you took Fancy seriously to begin with, that says something about you and your intelligence level.
Mm-hmm. Rod took her seriously too.
Rod as well. So Rod, Christy, all y'all. And not just seriously enough to just have a conversation with her or do something for her, to literally be like, here is my life story in your hands.
You have my life rights.
You have my life rights. You know what I mean? That's a lot. And it really seems like Gypsy was kind of manipulated into just kind of agreeing with it.
Right.
And a lot of times when they talk about like the different media deals and such that Christy and Rod are involved with, it seems like Gypsy isn't really consulted. She's just kind of told in a way that makes it seem like they're taking her thoughts into consideration. But at the end of the day, they're just kind of signing contracts for her, or not for her. Well, there's some allegations, but regardless, they're just
there's a lot of manipulation in Rod's emails to her about doing interviews and series and stuff to make money.
So let me know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are down below in the comments. Please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. It helps my video out greatly. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. And if you want to see different content, go subscribe to my backup channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.